The world is going to end. Everything will be destroyed and nothing will be left. This is not me saying, it's a theme of the poem Fire and Ice, which we are going to learn in this video. Hello and welcome to Easy Tricks. Stay tuned and watch full video to understand the poem perfectly. But before that, hit the subscribe button if you're new to this channel, like and comment. Fire and Ice is a short 9-line poem written by Robert Frost. It is a popular literary piece on account of its contradictory subject matter of Earth's destruction and the ending. The poem expresses the profound idea that the world would end in one of two ways, either by ice or by fire. So let's read the poem. Some says the world will end in fire, some says in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. So what does this poem say? Let's analyze the poem. Everyone knows the world will end at some time, but no one knows how. This poem, Fire and Ice, predict the world's destruction through fire and ice. And to bring the idea into human domain, the speaker links the element to human emotions. Fire in this poem is desire, ice is hate, and the speaker has experienced them both. Initially, the speaker supports those who are in favor of fire, but as the poem progresses, he remains undecided and mentions that if the world ends twice, the ice can bring equal destruction as fire. This is a poem of opinion, yes, but the opinion brought about by personal experience. The poet very artistically underpins the deep philosophy that we let our emotions rule us, and if we don't control them, they will surely destroy everything around us. That's very scary. Let's know what are the themes of this poem. Hatred and desire are the major theme of the poem. The destructive feature of human emotion forms the second theme. The third theme is fire and ice symbolizes hatred and desire that contributes to push the world at the verge of chaos. So, what's the message of this poem? This poem expresses ethical scenario in a nutshell, that the end of the world is brought about by the emotional energy of human. Wow, amazing. So, the final thing what we need to know for this poem is literary devices used. So, let's learn the literary device of the poem Fire and Ice. Number 1 is assonance. I hold with those who favor fire. Can you see the letter O getting repeated in this line? The repetition of vowel sound in the same line is assonance. Number 2 is alliteration. I hold with those who favor fire. Here the letter F is being repeated in the words favor and fire. This is what alliteration is, the repetition of consonant sound. Please do not get confused with assonance and alliteration. Assonance, I repeat, is the repetition of vowel sound, whereas alliteration is the repetition of consonant sound. The next literary device is imagery. Imagery is used to make the readers perceive things involving their 5 senses. For example, some says the world will end in fire, and some says that for destruction, ice is also great. You form an image of ice and fire while you're reading these lines. This is the best example of imagery. Number 4 is symbolism. Symbolism is use of symbol to signify idea and qualities by giving them symbolic meaning different from their literal meaning. Fire is a symbol of desire and ice is a symbol of hatred in this poem. Number 5 is anaphora. Some says the world will end in fire, some says in ice. Do you see the repetition of the word some say in each line? That is anaphora. Repetition of a word or expression in some part of the same verse is anaphora. Number 6 is personification. Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate object. In this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction. Therefore, the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them a mind which is capable of destroying almost anything. So the next literary device is enjambment. It is defined as thought or clause that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather, it moves over to the next line. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. You don't find any punctuation mark in between these two lines. That is the example of enjambment. The last literary device is rhyming scheme. To understand this particular device, I want you to focus on the last word of each line. So the first line ends with fire. So let us mark that as A. The second line ends with ice. Fire and ice, they do not rhyme with each other. So let us mark that as B. The third line ends with desire. So desire and fire rhymes with each other. So we are going to label that as A. The fourth line again ends with fire. So let's label that as A. The fifth line ends with the word twice. Twice and ice, they rhyme with each other. So let's label that as B. Similarly, seventh line ends with ice. Let's label that as B. And ninth line ends with suffice. Suffice and ice rhymes with each other. So let's label that as B. So the sixth line ends with hate. So let's label that as C. Similarly, the eighth line ends with great. Hate and great rhymes with each other, so we have marked that as C. Finally, the rhyming scheme what you get from this poem is A, B, A, B, C, and B, C, B. Thank you for watching.